Yep, that is definitely bent and cracked.
Alright, let's see if it works.
We've been having some issues recently with our black turbo Fox body.
I said, is it not easy to push in a straight line?
No, the axle's bent.
Fox body should be easy to push.
This thing is not easy to push. It's almost like it's on a brake right now. So we got to get this axle and this budget rebuild put back together and get it back in our Fox body this week so we can head back over to the dyno and rectify some of the issues that we had while we were there last week. But first, we almost didn't make it to this point. Let me take you back the last couple of days and show you what I'm talking about. So it's time, well, we got to go digging. Junkyard digging. All right, so this is the axle that we're gonna actually build. We're gonna put this down in the black car, but we're just gonna do a 5-lug swap with a gear change, rebuild a stock diff. So this is kind of what it looks like right now. It'll look much better when we're done, and some new parts on it so we can actually use it since the other one is bent. I ended up getting this axle pretty clean. We ended up tack welding on the top and the bottom of the tubes. I didn't really want to weld them all the way around because I would rather have that tigged. Order some parts from the parts store, the seal and the rear bearing. I ended up ordering the upper bushings as well. But all we really need is a set of axles and we're pretty much ready to go. And this is the type of rebuild that you can do at home. It's not very expensive. Some axle seals and bearings, gaskets, clutch packs. Not really a whole lot of money in this rebuild. We're only gonna be using this temporary. Gotta go dig it. Like I said, let's go hit the junkyard. See you guys here in a moment. So definitely one of my favorite places to come. Got a couple things we need to look for. A Bronco 2 or a Ranger, anywhere between 83 and like 92. It's a 4-cylinder or a 3.0 V6. One on 308 and there's one on row 305. So we're gonna go check to see if we can find us an axle. Otherwise we're headed to Summit Racing to buy new ones. But first we're gonna have to check the junkyard. Okay, so we found the Ranger, and this is definitely what we're looking for, and we're looking for the driver's side axle. We'll go check the Bronco 2 first, but this is the axle we need. You know, while we're here, we're definitely going to check the Explorer, as the Explorer does have the 8.8 axle as well. Has good gears and good differential stuff that we need to get out, but we're not going to do that today. This is just a 97 that I wanted to check to make sure, you know, heads and intake weren't here. But there's another Explorer down here, down the way. It doesn't look like the engine is a 5.0, but again, it doesn't really matter if it's V6 or V8 for you that are interested in doing upgrades from the junkyard. Looks like somebody actually already pulled the diff and the axles out. These axles won't work. They're too thick, they're too big, they're a larger tubing. Also wanted to make mention that you would think that all Rangers work for the Fox body 5-lug conversion. Larger drum, it's like a 10-inch drum, versus having the 83 to 92 had the smaller drum and fits, the driver's side axle actually fits right into a Mustang. Doesn't matter if it's a 7.5 or an 8.8. So we also did decide to step over and look at the 95 Mustang, but it looks like somebody had already, you know, snatched the whole front spindle assembly. We'll always double check inside the car to make sure it's not there. Doesn't look like anything is here. So undoubtedly one of the best things when you're trying to restore cars is buying clips that are broken. Like some of the mass air harnesses, these are just absolutely destroyed because people try to peel these things up. They're supposed to be pushed in when you actually disconnect them. And this is like an AC wide open throttle switch type stuff. And you can find them on just about any Ford vehicle. They share a lot of the plugs, like a lot of repair plugs that you can get from the junkyard. You know, I'm just using this car as an example, like the alternator stuff, you know, just to repair your harnesses. You don't have to cut the wires, and you know, you can just unpin it, just undo the lock here and put the new plug in so it stays secured. I know some people would just argue, well, I'll just buy a new harness. Yeah, I mean, I did pretty well with my stock harness for a long period of time. There's nothing wrong with running the stock stuff, especially if you're just doing like a resto mod. Very important to have good clean plugs for connections and check them. We've shared so many of the same plug styles on so many of the different vehicles, you can literally check the junkyard. And so I guess we are going to take a chance at this axle here, get this old ass wheel off, see what happens. Definitely not looking good right now for us. This looks to be like a 7.5, but they're the same axles. So glad I brought my Thor hammer. Little I think this is like a 2-pounder or something, 3-pounder. Had to bust this thing off, did not want to come off. And that's going to be a problem. That could be seized all the way in there. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm actually pretty impressed that I got this far with it, but what's this would look like in a 35-year-old truck? I ended up busting up the column just so I can get it in neutral. Which sucks, but I had to do it. And then I looked down and look what's laying under that. Come on, can't catch a break today. We're almost there. Might take this off so I can get a good bite on it. We'll see, right? All right, let's see if it works. Come on, baby. Yes. Got it, dude. That's awesome. I can't get it. You gotta take that cap off. Couldn't get to it. So this pin will slide out. Didn't bring my magnet, so this is gonna kind of suck. Done. Got it. Okay, so the moment of truth. Nice. Nice axle. Look at that. So we definitely ended up picking up a pretty good axle. Got the car pretty much staged ready to go. I bet that Ranger never thought its axle would be in a Mustang by the end of the day. We had rebuilt the packs in the differential. We're gonna run some friction modifier with the gear lube and get this thing set up and ready to run. Put some new bushings in while we're at it. These things are always tore up. This is like a maintenance thing. Pretty easy to put in too with a little bit of grease. Kind of center them out. So we ended up running with the 3-inch studs so I could use spacers and different back spacing on wheels. Spent some good time getting this thing cleaned up, putting new bearings and new seals in, which I'm not real worried about hurting that axle. But this is just a budget build. I have no doubts in my mind that even at 400 wheel, the axle will be just fine. It's just gonna go on the black car temporarily till we get this one fixed. There's definitely parasitic loss going on in the back. It was hard to even push the car. It just doesn't want to move. Every time you go to make a turn, it wants to stall out. So we're definitely gonna have to get the axles out, get it in the jig, and get it welded up and straightened. And we're actually gonna show you here on the channel how to get your 8.8 fixed and put it in a jig and get it welded up. If you guys enjoy this sort of content, leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what you guys think. Outside of that, appreciate you watching. We'll see you soon in the next video.